Hey, I'm Jim Surgeon. Welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Rob Adler and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate. And this week, we are exploring the Binghamton Inebriate Asylum, more commonly known on the streets of Binghamton as State Hospital.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Should have been doing this one in October, because I got to tell you, it is one of the most cursed-looking buildings I've ever seen a picture of.
It's pretty nuts, man. Like, this definitely lives in the scary story, like, haunted tales of Binghamton, New York. Because, like, you know, we were talking off mic, but, like, I've been up here, I think, like, twice in my life. And, yeah, both times I was like, ooh, this place looks real fucked up, man. There's a lot of bad shit that went down in here. You can feel it when you walk by there. So
it's imposing. Yeah. It's real. It's very, very wide and fairly tall. Like it's, yeah. If you picture an old, mental facility,
right?
This is what your imagination conjures up. It's pretty. It's severe looking. Is the best way I can put to describe.
I'm surprised they haven't done like exterior shots for some like Netflix show or something.
Yeah,
this would be pretty on the nose.
Or even like low budget horror movie. Like there's a bunch of that's been done in abandoned mental institutions in like Massachusetts. There's a couple of movies that are made at one specifically out there. But yeah, right. I was very surprised not to find anything that, even like had been shot kind of guerrilla style there, as far as I can tell. Hell of an institution.
I'm sure out there is some, like there was for the Masonic Temple.
Oh, yeah.
Like video of people like running around there just trying to get killed or something.
Sure.
It's very like Blair Witch.
I forget what where it was, but someone had pictures of the inside, and yeah, it's spooky. Even during all the peeling paint, there's still like documents around, and like it's really something to see. So that's where we're going to talk about it.
Right. Yeah, we're not going to go do a live episode there.
That's true. It's true. You're gonna have to enter I forget how Rod would put it, the theater of your mind, or there's some quote there I'm stumbling over, but everyone gets what I'm going for.
Yeah, we understand where your heart is there.
Indeed,
for sure.
Indeed. Well, I understand where the heart of most of our fans is, because they've rated, subscribed, and reviewed the show. They've let us know where their heart resides, and it's at the 5-star level, typically.
That's the only place we allow it to live.
It's true. So guys, help us out. Join the chorus of voices that have already reviewed and rated the show. 5 stars helps us out a lot. If you write a positive review, you can also throw in a recommendation for your favorite abandoned building in upstate New York, and we would love to talk about it. It's not the first abandoned building we're talking about, and it's not the last. I can guarantee you that. So go and do that. And hey, if you're going to be doing some urban exploring, why not do it? And one of the Understanding Upstate t-shirts the next time you break into a building that's been long dormant. Definitely not advocating for that, but if you're doing it, do it in one of our t-shirts. Why?
Right.
Why not?
Any publicity is good publicity out here, folks.
Sure.
Let us shine.
Jim, where can they pick up such a t-shirt?
Oh my gosh, they could go to understandingupstate.printful.me to get that. And it comes in a variety of colors and designs and flavors. And trust me, you will be the talk of the mental institution that you break into.
There you go.
Everyone will be talking about you.
There you go. Well, without further ado, I think we need to start talking about the New York State Inebriate Asylum, Jim.
I think we shall and will. The New York State Inebriate Asylum, later known as Binghamton State Hospital, was the first institution designed and constructed to treat alcoholism as a mental disorder in the United States. Located in God's country, Binghamton, New York, its imposing Gothic Revival exterior was designed by New York architect Isaac G. Perry, and construction was completed in 1864.
And we talked about Isaac G. Perry in, I forget which mansion was it. It wasn't too long ago.
Mansion.
The Phelps Mansion, yeah, same architect.
Yeah, making his rounds. The building was declared a National Historic Landmark in 1997. In 2015, Binghamton University announced it had taken stewardship of the building and would proceed with plans for its rehabilitation of the building. So, with that being said, I think it's important to put some context and framing around what an inebriate asylum is, because we're going to be going back in time of sorts, right? Inebriate homes or retreats descended from a tradition of therapeutic temperance that originated in the Washingtonian movement of the 1840s. They were small, urban, private, and charitable, dedicated to voluntaristic and Christian principles, and were intimately connected with local temperance groups that provided support after residential treatment. Inebriate asylums took inspiration from insane asylums and were large, public, coercive, and isolated in rural areas. So if you go with me in the mind's eye to Binghamton, New York, when you drive up to this place, you are going deep into the hills of the east side of Binghamton, and it is pretty isolated from the rest of Binghamton and the east side.
I found a lot of too many articles to even begin to scrape the real depth of, but a lot of the articles I was able to read referenced a lot of the early, I guess not attendees, residents of the asylum were from New York City. So it's not a lot of local people that were there.
Right.
They were shipping them up there from the city. A lot of the wealthy, it was initially mostly wealthy individuals who were going there. So even more removed from where they were from.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, where are we? Their promoters were steeped in the deterministic hereditary neurologism of Victorian psychiatry.
Also not good.
Yeah. This feels bad. Asylum enthusiasts dominated the public treatment movement, but developed a largely disciplinary and custodial vision that undermined their political appeal.
Yeah.
Ooh. As inebriate asylums could not easily be distinguished from insane asylums, almshouses, or jails, legislatures regarded them as superfluous, and very few were established. Prohibition destroyed what public inebriate institutions existed. Inebriate colonies, usually connected with county jails, were the only survivors of the 19th century treatment movement, apart from private sanitaria and a few inebriate wards in city or county hospitals. There it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, let's get into some of the history of our own New York State Inebriate Asylum, shall we, Jim?
Let's talk about it.
All right. So it is located on a high, prominent hilltop in eastern Binghamton at 425 Robinson Street. Is a large and imposing Gothic Revival stone building. It was first chartered in 1854, but site work and construction on the campus did not begin until 1857 in what were then the rural outskirts of Binghamton. The asylum admitted its first patients in 1864. Wow, a whole decade from start to finish. That was a long time. But the building was not completed for another 2 years. 12 years. It was the first large-scale public facility in which alcoholism was treated as a medical condition. Well, It served this function until 1879 when it was converted to a mental hospital. The facilities were significantly enlarged in the 1880s with the addition of many buildings that have since been demolished. In the late 1950s, the Binghamton State Hospital was home to around 3,400 patients, and doubled its staff to implement new intensive therapy programs. So it really grew. From one article we'll talk about later, 1800s, I think they had 250 residents. So it really, over 100 years,
Right.
really gradually expanded. In 1961, patients cost the state on average $2,053 per year, approximately $19,500 in today's dollars. By 1962, the hospital was home to 1,200 employees and 2,500 patients. The nearly 1,000 patient decrease in just a few years was often credited to the effectiveness of the new treatment programs. The Binghamton State Hospital saw its fair share of turbulence in the 60s. State auditors claimed that the hospital was severely understaffed, giving too many benefits to its employees, including room and board subsidies and food costs that still followed 1943 price ranges. However, by 1965, the hospital bounced back from any overstaffing claims and expanded its roster of employees, though they reportedly had some difficulty with filling the positions. Hospital obtained a $99,000 grant, which is nearly $900,000 in today's dollars, to develop a treatment program aimed at teenagers. In 1968, hospital workers across the state had organized a strike, bringing about a grand shuffle of patients to institutions that were not terribly affected by that very strike. The majority of Binghamton State Hospital staff did not participate in the strike and received upwards of 300 new patients. Even with this influx, the yearly patient population was still decreasing steadily, sitting around 2,100 by the end of 1968, half of which were identified as geriatric individuals. The start of the 1970s brought about unexpected financial issues once more. Statewide budget cuts plagued a multitude of state hospitals, and Binghamton was no exception. By June of 1971, Binghamton State Hospital had laid off 28 employees, and the state had a workers' strike brewing once again. Union leaders were confident that they would have complete participation this time. With their workers unionized, state hospitals continued to treat and release patients at a steady pace. By the end of the long 60s, mental health programs continued to improve, especially regarding geriatric patients. The average length of geriatric hospitalizations was only 38.5 days in 1972, a far cry from the permanent incarceration the mentally ill suffered when asylums were first established, which again is what we're kind of talking about. They wanted full control of you, right?
Right. Imagine just being like, yeah, I was a little fucked up, but now I live here forever.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's, one flew over the cuckoo nest in a nutshell.
Correct. Yay.
Yeah. A real happy film. Let's see. Binghamton State Hospital continued to function for another 20 years before closing in 1993 due to structural collapse and years of poor maintenance practice. I'm pretty surprised that it was in operation until 1993. Like, you look at the building and it looks like it was abandoned well before that.
Right.
It would not have been fun being in there in like 1988,
Mm-mm. Well, we're gonna get some intel on that sort of vibe here.
All right. The building remained in use as a mental hospital or psychiatric services center until 1993, when it was closed due to inadequate maintenance. In 2008, SUNY Upstate Medical University took over the vacant building with plans to rehabilitate the main building and to establish a satellite campus on the grounds. Due to a general economic downturn, the university never developed the building beyond stabilizing its condition. In 2015, Binghamton University announced it had taken stewardship of the building and published plans for its rehabilitation of the building. Which, I am very for building preservation, but my God, that has got to be a pretty big lift to get that building back
Right.
up in any kind of shape for, practical use.
I
That's it's a big project.
This is also one of those places where, like, given the story and history around it, it's like,
Sure, yeah.
nah, man, I'm okay. I don't want to spend an extended amount of time up there.
Yeah.
Inside, right? Like,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like when I went up there, like there's like a fence that surrounded it, so you couldn't necessarily get in it.
Sure.
So like, but not me. I am good to go. Good to go on that front, folks.
Well, I think it's a good time to pivot to some stories from the Binghamton Psychiatric Center. Does that sound good?
All right. Some stories. First one, and these are all little like quippy stories. They're not like these aren't full. This is in the 3-act play I'm about to get into. First one goes like this. I used to deliver pizzas for Nurchi's up there when it was still open. Nurchi's is a prominent pizza spot in Binghamton. We should add that to the list.
I was going to say thank you because that was going to be my first question when you finished talking. It's like, how's the pizza at Nurchi's?
I used to work there. And I can tell you all about it. Anyway, yeah, we'll do an episode about that.
Oh yeah, sounds good.
Kicking it from the top. I used to deliver pizzas for Nurchi's up there when it was still open. I was in there one day, and while I was settling up with the orderly, one of the patients kept bouncing back and forth from inside to outside the ward door. Every time he was out, he would start yelling that he had escaped and would yell that he was back in when he was on the ward side. Don't know why, but it always struck me as super funny. That's a heartwarming tale. You're right. It's beautiful. Next one. When they still allowed it, my mom used to have to ride the city bus up to the campus with patients after school every day. One day, she got off with a lady who told her she liked my mom's boots. My mom said, thanks. The lady said, no, I like your boots, and started trying to take them off her feet, ending up having to give the woman a swift punch and a run home.
Okay.
Man. Also not surprised.
Sure.
As we proceed. There's a crematorium on the campus there. It's been abandoned for decades. They used to bury some of the bodies on the big grassy hill facing east towards Robinson, as some of the bodies were uncovered during a mudslide sometime last century. Fuck! Yeah. That is how a zombie movie starts.
That's how Poltergeist ends.
Yo, man.
Yeah.
There's a room in the old asylum where a man was tied to a chair and he rubbed his feet back and forth so much it caused permanent indentations in the floor.
That's not good.
Fun times. I heard a story from an old guard about a patient who escaped and was found behind the door in the morgue with a large knife. The guard had just come from inspecting the morgue for him, and he had been called away right before he stepped into the room. Safe to say, he was a little freaked out. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to go inside the buildings. You're crazy. Not for spooky ghost stuff, but for the history, to see it. You can't even walk around the campus anymore, which sucks. I used to take pictures of the outside of the old buildings and enjoyed seeing how they changed year to year with nature's elements affecting them. As a teen, this is our last one here. As a teen, I was stuck in the GBHC children's part in the front of the old building. I believe it's closed now. I don't know. I know they didn't allow people to walk up there and were super strict because you could see underage kids playing in the fenced-in area and who are hospitalized from the above grounds. When hospitalized, I remember the gym teacher walking us around the entire area explaining what each building was. And some horror stories from the old building. I remember the story about the gentleman in the rocking chair who rocked in the same spot for so many days and years in a row, he wore perfect impressions of the rocker and his feet into the floor. It always horrified me. Bad vibes.
All right, I think we've triangulated the the worn away floor story. It sounds like a
Woo!
sounds like a legitimate urban myth from there.
Yeah, it's got legs and feet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Well,
Indubitably.
we got some more stories, Jim. Shall we get to them?
Yes.
All right. This is not the first time we've gone to the Whale 99.1 FM's website. They have a lot of stuff. One day I'll tune in to their station. I'm sure it's
Oh my gosh, this is a Broome County staple right here, man.
Oh yeah.
Classic rock.
I'm going to say I feel like it's Eddie Money 24/7 on the Whale.
Sure.
That and like Blue Oyster Cult. I'm certain.
It's got its own wave for sure.
Indeed. All right, let's get into it. This article is I Spy the Secrets and History Behind Binghamton's Inebriate Asylum. And there is a terrifying picture of a window with an eye in the center of it painted, and it's pretty great. It's very arresting. Also a great spooky aerial photo of the asylum. All right, here we go. It's the Castle on the Hill, official name, the Binghamton Psychiatric Center. Well, at least that was the last name for the huge complex from 1974 until it closed in 1993. According to the Castle on the Hill website, it was originally named the New York State Inebriate Asylum from 1858 to 1879. Then it was called the Binghamton Asylum for the chronic insane up until 1890, when it became the Binghamton State Hospital until 1974. If you have lived in the Binghamton area for some time, you are well aware of the huge complex at the end of Robinson Street, founded by Dr. Joseph Edward Turner in 1858 on 250 acres of farmland. The National Park Service states the hospital was the, quote, first single-purpose hospital in the United States that was designed and built for the treatment of alcoholism as a disease. The Castle on the Hill website states that the main building is isolated on the local, state, and national register of historic places and is in the National Trust for Historic Preservation's top 11 most endangered buildings list. Wow. Surely it's number 11 on that list. Like top 11. Yeah, let's make it 10 or 15 or something. I digress. Anyway, the Inebriate Asylum was built in 1858 as a 3-story Gothic Revival style limestone structure designed by architect Isaac Perry. An article by Catherine Smalley on the website Digital Projects Binghamton states that Perry designed many other buildings, including the Phelps Mansion and the Perry Block Building, which is where the Town Square Media Studios are located. Let's see. Wikipedia notes that Isaac Perry did not design the building alone. He had some assistance in its design from his wife, Lucretia Gibson Perry. All right, I don't think we had that bit of info when we talked about Isaac. Let's see. What is with the eye in the window that was mentioned earlier? Let's see. But here's something you may not be aware of, but it may be aware of you. In the middle of one of the windows at the front of the building, there's an eye looking out. Just what's the story behind that? I found on the Facebook page For the Love of Binghamton from administrator David Bogart. The story that I heard was that the all-seeing eye was God looking down on the patients for their well-being.
Nope. No thanks.
Yeah, I'm good. Another possible reason that has been mentioned but not substantiated is, quote, it was told to people at the asylum that you are always being watched and you should act accordingly. Yeah, anyone that might have, paranoid inclinations is probably not best for their mental health to be.
This is going to exacerbate some visual and auditory hallucinations. For sure.
I'd be interested to know if anyone has the true story or reason, if any, for the eye in the window of the Inebriate Asylum. Let's see. It goes on to plug a YouTube video for an interesting look at changes in the Binghamton area, including the castle on the hill. Did you ever refer to it as the castle, Jim? Was that
It was the house on the hill.
House on
I've
the Hill? Got it.
never heard castle on the hill. I've definitely heard house on the hill for sure.
God, yeah, it really is something to look at. Next time we're in Binghamton, we got to take a. I want to take a
I'll
trip.
show
to the
you,
hill,
man. I'll show you what it is, dude.
I'm gonna bring a long lens and get some pictures of this sucker. This thing is crazy.
And any Binghamtonians out there listening to the podcast, shoot us some of your anecdotal stories of the house on the hill. I'd love to hear from some 607ers about what the hell's going on over here. I'm
throwing this out now because now is the time to start working on something for October. I feel like we should maybe collect some listener accounts of spooky stories, preferably in like Binghamton and whatnot. Maybe we could localize some of the episodes. But yeah, if you got anything, reach out. understandingupstate@gmail.com. We'll start collecting them now. See what we can do.
Yeah, it'll because I'll also start sourcing as far as my like social media network of working on that, because there's definitely the stories I read are like a tip of the iceberg as far as what this building is capable of.
It makes me wonder if I don't think there's any Twilight Zone episodes dealing with asylum type things. It certainly deals with people having mental breaks, but
sure.
I wonder if there's anything as imposing. I'm going to do some research. Like, surely Rod would have, this thing had been around for almost 100 years when he was hanging out in Binghamton, so I'm sure he would have seen it. Certainly adds to the credence of Binghamton being a weird place.
He encapsulated it, and this building certainly added to its legacy of it being a weird fucking place.
Totally.
For sure.
Totally. All right, well, I think we got some more stories, Jim.
Yeah, we got another article here titled "The Binghamton Asylum for the Chronically Insane. Atop the city of Binghamton sits a Gothic castle with a dark past," by Emily Mancini from November 9th, 2012. On a hillside overlooking Binghamton stands a towering Gothic castle. Although the intricate exterior stonework, stained glass windows, and medieval turrets make it seem like something out of a fairy tale, the castle has a very dark past. It is the former New York State Inebriate Asylum, once informally known as the Binghamton Asylum for the Chronic Insane. The asylum has a strange history shrouded in tragedy, speculation, and mystery. Designed by New York architect Isaac Perry in 1858, completed in 1864, the castle was built to house and treat alcoholics under the experimental theory that alcoholism, like insanity, was a disease that required institutionalization. It just requires a bar, that's all. The asylum faced financial woes for a decade after a Great Fire broke out in March 1870. Governor Lucius Robinson deemed it, quote, a complete failure in 1879, suggesting that the asylum be closed down and renovated to house the insane. In 1881, its doors were reopened as the Binghamton Asylum for the Chronic Insane, later renamed Binghamton State Hospital. Hundreds of patients were transferred to Binghamton from Utica, Poughkeepsie, and Middletown. Those patients lived, suffered, and died in the palatial asylum. Treatment methods only worsened with the turn of the century. What? Who would have thought? We're about to get into some of them, folks. In 1942, the hospital instituted electric shock therapy, hydrotherapy, and later lobotomy as methods of treatment for the mentally ill. These, quote, treatments were nothing short of brutally inhumane. Patients were restrained in wet canvas for up to 6 hours at a time and forced into seizures by means of electric shock. Jesus. The worst and most terrifying of these treatments was the prefrontal lobotomy, a form of psychosurgery that involves scrambling the frontal lobe of the brain with a sharp metal instrument inserted through the upper eye socket. If you didn't think Binghamton was terrifying before, here it is. The hospital fell into steep decline in the late 1900s with the introduction of modern medicinal treatments until it finally closed its doors in 1993. Aside from the remaining historical documents, the dark history of the castle and its patients has long been obscured, ignored, and forgotten. Richard L. Diffenbach relays a few of the experiences as a former aide at Binghamton State Hospital to the New York Times in 2008. These people are encased in my memory, he said of the patients. I worked on the violent ward. We had a patient who sat all day in a chair and shuffled his feet back and forth and wore a considerable sized depression in the wood floor. This is real. The patient used to call himself ZZZ Waff Rainmaker, Father, Mother, Simon, Joseph, Francis, Carl. He said he was the maker of heaven and earth. He sat in the chair in the hallway and shuffled all day. Oof. The original hospital gravesite, which contained 1,500 bodies marked with numbered stones, was moved to an open field to make way for a new highway in 1961. It is said that in early spring, the melting snow collects in the basins of the shallow anonymous graves, leaving what little evidence of those who lived and died there in plain sight. The castle itself is awaiting another phase in a series of renovations geared towards preserving it as a historic landmark. Once the renovations are finished, a portion of the old ward will still be made into a museum to honor its former patients. Oof.
All right.
Well, folks, that is Emily's retelling of some of the horrible shit that went down at the Binghamton Psychiatric Hospital.
Yeah, that's all pretty grim stuff. It's not oof. Well, Jim, I was able to uncover a document from the Library of Congress. It looks like it's from 1974, I want to say. As basically surveying it was still in operation at that point, but this was prepared by the Historic American Building Survey, Office of Archaeology and Historic Preservation, National Park Service, Department of the Interior. So, they're looking at it as a historic building. But there's a lot of history here that we haven't found detailed anywhere else. So I thought it was interesting. So let's get into it. It's a couple pages here. All right. So again, as of 1974. So present use, the building now houses the administrative offices of the hospital. We're looking at specifically the old building, founded by Dr. Jonathan Edward Turner in 1854. It was probably the first inebriate asylum in the world. Today it stands as a major surviving example of an institution built in the castellated Gothic Revival style. Physical history, original and subsequent owners. It was originally chartered April 15th, 1854, as the privately funded United States Inebriate Asylum. As amended charter of 1857 changed its name to the New York State Inebriate Asylum. Its picturesque 250-acre site, some 240 feet above the Susquehanna River, was donated by the city of Binghamton. After administrative, political, financial, and construction difficulties, it was closed in 1867 and ceded to the state for $1. Then in 1879, the building and grounds were reopened as the New York State Asylum for the Chronic Insane. And some articles I found, it's people in Broome County and Binghamton not wanting to pay a tax for that to happen. Because it was drawing from their, there's a lot of that county tax money that helped it pivot to a state facility.
Right.
And there's a quote. It's like, Binghamton has no need for an insane asylum, which is like,
I don't know, man.
This is the last place on earth was kind of the tone, which I found Funny. Date of erection. Foundations were begun on June 17th, 1858. Masonry work was commenced a month later. The cornerstone was laid on September 24th, 1858. The building housed its first patients in 1864. Again, architect was Isaac G. Perry, possibly assisted by Peter B. White. And we had the carpenter, Thaddeus A. Kingsley. Let's see. We've got the building suppliers. I think we can. Oh, actually, no. It's kind of interesting. Let's take a look at it. Original cost of the building was $233,000. That's in 1866. $233,000. That is a shit ton of money. This was deferred through individual subscriptions and donations in kind. The facade's exterior is of Syracuse limestone, while interior walls are brick. Okay. Some local materials. Original plans and construction location of these plans remains unknown. However, sources for the facade's elevation may include crenellated collegiate structures in the Gothic revival style, such as A.J. Davis's New York University building or his Virginia Military Institute. Additionally, Gothic revival prison architecture, such as Blackwell's Island Penitentiary, may also have influenced this asylum's facade. That prison sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on an island penitentiary from 1853, Jim. Doesn't sound fun.
Not for me.
Let's see. Gothic style was appropriate for this type of asylum since medieval civilization, according to Turner, was the only one not afflicted with inebriety. They're saying medieval times didn't have people getting drunk? Okay. I don't know if I believe that.
That's a leap.
Yeah. I feel like that may have been one of the only things there was to do. Anyway, so alterations and additions. Several fires damaged the building in 1863, 64, and 69. The 1864 fire destroyed the north wing of the asylum, causing $81,000 worth of damage. This is supposedly in ruins until and even past 1867. There's in a lot of these news articles, you see a lot of mention of these fires. Additionally, the 69 fire destroyed the rear buildings. When the state received the buildings in 1870, Isaac G. Perry was the architect entrusted with making alterations and possibly restoring damaged parts from previous fires. Contracts for this amount to the sum of $10,000. That seems reasonable. At some point in its history, the rose window above the central entrance was replaced by a four-centered arch. Additionally, the crenellations on all the turrets were recently removed. I know. You know what? I know what a crenellation is, Jim. Do you know what a crenellation is?
I don't know what a crenellation is.
So if you picture a castle with like a turret,
yes.
And you have the it's kind of like the. I'm doing a visual description for you right now, but it's you have a block that's up, and then you have a gap, and then a block, and a gap, and a block. It's kind of like a crown around a turret.
Yeah.
That's crenellation. It's so you can stick your crossbow or your arrow and shoot from the roof of your castle. Something very necessary for this asylum
in those times. Yes.
Yeah, crenellation. There you go. You learn something every day. Or you remember you learned something a while ago. Historical events connected with the structure. There was an elaborate cornerstone laying ceremony that was attended by numerous well-known personages. We don't have a description of any of those people, but a big old cornerstone ceremony. Sources of information. Let's see. They pulled a lot of this from engravings, advertisements, trustees' reports. Again, this was a private institution.
Right.
Initially, someone made an engraving of one of the fires called "Destruction of the New York State Inebriate Asylum," and the rest is just the bibliography, which this was very extensively researched.
I was going to say, there's a lot of research that went into this for sure.
A whole page page and a half of sources, which I'm sure like these are books from like 1890, 1942. A lot of work went into this. Let's see, and then just like sources not likely yet investigated, and that's the document again from 1974. Again, yeah, I thought just some more interesting history on the building itself. It's pretty tumultuous 1800s, I would say, with failing many times, burning to the ground. Yeah, and I got a few more articles. I think we got time for a few here, so let me just pull some of them up real quick. Let me flip back here to the first one. Most of them are pretty short. This is from, I think it's kind of not in chronological order, but again, it'll help give you a better picture. This is Tri-States Union, April 27th, 1883. In the Binghamton Inebriate Asylum, there were at one time 18 cases of persons whose condition was directly traceable to Black Friday. Political failures are also accountable for many cases. Political campaigns send a considerable contribution to the asylums. And that is referencing when they say Black Friday, there was a stock market crash. And like, I think it was in the 1860s. So like people had been there a while, where a couple guys got together and made a run on gold. And this is back when we were on the gold standard, and the treasurer at the time basically always sold off gold. This is like right after the Civil War, and like every 2 weeks they were selling off gold to pay down the national debt. But since it was a planned thing, they're like, well, if we do a run on gold, then we can corner the entire market. And then as the government had been doing, when they sold off the gold they had been planning, the market crashed, and a lot of people, I guess, drank too much and went to the inebriate asylum. But that was an interesting little article referencing it. Let's see. This is from 1879. The Binghamton Inebriate Asylum is almost deserted. There are only 19 patients there. And this is just like this is in a temperance items. It's just listing little blurbs related to the temperance movement. But yeah, only 19 residents there in a terrifyingly large building. Can you imagine being one of 19 people in that haunted ass place? That would be
having seen it firsthand, yes. Well, I can't imagine it.
Indeed. All right. Let's see. This is from the Mount Morris Enterprise, 1879. It is thought that since the Binghamton Inebriate Asylum is to be made an asylum for the insane, the building of the insane asylum in this county is an unnecessary and all uncalled for tax on the people. So says the Avon Herald and Lima Recorder. It's too late to remedy, we think. Okay, so it was pretty widely debated about making it a public institution. This here, this is one of the more interesting ones I found. This is from the Penyan Express, January 27th, 1875. Gives us a demographic breakdown of who was there. So the Binghamton Inebriate Asylum last year had 254 inmates. Of those, 12 were country patients, 177 were admitted during the year. Of these, 79 received a common school education, 65 an academical one, and 28 a collegiate one. 104 were constant drinkers, 98 periodical drinkers, 13 used opium, 152 tobacco, 97 married, 75 single, 35 were merchants, clerks, 29 were bookkeepers. We got 12 lawyers, 11 manufacturers, 10 physicians, 9 butchers, 6 farmers, 5 mechanics, 5 hatters, 4 civil engineers, druggists, and printers, 3 each carpenters, hotel keepers, U.S. officers, publishers, 2 bakers, chemists, drymen, fruit growers, hop raisers, insurance agents, professors of music, surveyors, teachers, and tanners, 1 each. I mean, hop raisers got to know their product. Am I right?
Sure. Let them all go.
Yeah, dude.
Let them go. Just let them live.
Yeah.
Let them live.
Yeah. Expenses $30,536. Receipts $31,000. Ooh, we're barely turning a profit there. You can't be bringing in $1,000 a year.
No.
Oh no! Even with inflation, that's pretty bad. Oh, that might be why it failed 4 years later. That's not so good. Let's see. I think that might be the. No, I got one more article here. The Yates County Chronicle, September 30th, 1869. Talented Inebriates is the name of the article.
Great. I like it. That's a great name for an album.
Yeah, the Alcoholics at least should, throw that on their next album. All right. A correspondent of the Boston Journal writes, again, this is the first hospital of its time, so it's going to have some, or a hospital of its kind, not just for the time, but ever. In the Binghamton Inebriate Asylum are eminent lawyers from New England, whom I have heard plead with Webster and Choate, men of wealth and standing, eloquent temperance orators, whose names and address I have seen written a year in the journal. Men who have been and still are officially connected with the city government of New York. Professional men of high standing, eloquent and distinguished ministers of the gospel, sons of eminent merchants of New York and other leading cities. Some of the most talented artists of the land, organists who readily command $5,000 a year in the city, with bankers, lawyers, clerks, and eminent men, nearly all of them under 30 years of age. Many of them are fine performers. They have organized a choir, conducted in superb style the worship which is held daily, and the worship of the Sabbath, give concerts, have entertainments, run a small theater once a week. The whole week is occupied in a round of interesting amusements. Many of the rooms are fitted up in artistic style by the patients, and a more elegant, cheerful, exuberant retreat cannot be found in the country. So there you go. A glowing review in 1869. Definitely not from someone who was paid to write a positive review, I'm sure.
5 stars.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, I think inebriate asylums are a different, a far cry from the insane asylum structures of the 1950s, but I still have a hard time believing some of that description. But
yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. I wanted to shed some more, try and find more information on just what it was like there and who was there. And I was able to do it. I had to sift through a lot of just kind of small updates and really some petty, we don't want this, a lot of NIMBY articles.
Yeah. Oh.
And shit like that. But
a song as old as time.
Indeed. But some real interesting and also some real terrifying history associated there at the old the house on the hill.
That's right.
And I'm excited to go take a look at this thing. It really seems quite the structure. I think I said it. Go ahead.
We'll go during the day.
Yeah. Sure. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Not an evening visit.
I'm going to leave the car on when we get out. Leave the car running. Well, Jim, I think that's going to bring us to a close here on the old state hospital. Think we did it?
Oh, I think so. I think we did a nice kind of backstory to a place of Binghamton legend.
Yeah.
Maybe do when we do our follow-up episode, we'll bring in some more anecdotal stories from folks who worked there or who lived in Binghamton who went by there have some fun stories. And by fun, I mean terrifying.
I'm curious to see what the hell... is it Binghamton University that's still... I think that's where we last left off with who had taken it over.
Yeah.
I wonder what the hell... What the hell their plan is. I wonder. We'll see. I guess it sounded like from the Pipe Dreams Binghamton University Journal of the Times, there was a plan to put a museum there at some point, which would also be interesting. So yeah, well, more to come on a later episode.
Yes.
We'll have to keep tabs on this one for sure. But speaking of keeping tabs on things, Jim, the Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's out there can always keep tabs on what we're doing by subscribing, right? And again, it helps us out if you also rate and review the show. 5 stars, toss in a positive review with a suggestion for a topic you would like to hear us talk about on a future episode. And we will. We'll do it. We've done it before.
We will.
We'll do it again. And speaking of doing things again, it's yet again time to plug some things. What do you got, Jim?
All right, so check this out. Let's say, hear me out, hypothetical. You delivered pizzas to the Binghamton Inebriate Asylum, right? It's your job. You square up with the orderly, and boy, this time you've done it. You saw a patient come out and act a complete fucking fool, terrifying you beyond all. You quit your job. You leave Nurchie's Pizza.
Oh man,
right? Because you're like, you know what? I can't ever go back to that. And you're broken. You've lost faith in our society. You've lost faith in what mental health looks like. You need a pick-me-up. Well, I'm going to tell you, even though you quit your job, still go out and buy my album. Still go out and do that. I want you to do that. It's going to be worth it. Upstate Understandings. It's going to lift your spirits 1,000%. Jimsearch.bandcamp.com. That is a place to go buy it. If you buy one, you can buy 1,000 of them. It's going to be worth every penny. It's a pure comic delight. I'm going to bring you the jokes. Rob's going to bring you the edits. My friend Matt brought the video. Adam brought the design of the album cover. A true team effort, and it is worth every penny. That being said, you spent all that. You go bought some merch. I appreciate that, but you're like, I want to see Jim Search in real life. You can do it. JimSearchComedy.com is a good place to go see where I'm going to be. For show dates and things of that nature. Go run it up. Come see me in real time and follow me at Jim Search, but don't follow me in real life. Also, follow our show here, Understanding Upstate, on the Instagrams, and you DM us, we'll DM you back. Rob, that's what I got for them. But right. Yet and still, they want more. They want more. Give them more.
Jim, let's just say you're riding the bus and someone stole your boots. What are you gonna do? Well, you're gonna walk home. It's gonna be a little cold and maybe a little bit wet, but when you get home, you're gonna have New York Sticky waiting for you, my album, because you purchased it before you left, and it's gonna make your day feel all right while you search the internet for new boots. So go pick that up. Just safe for a rainy day where you don't have boots. It's available at brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com. I got some more music there as well. Go check it out. We also have a documentary. It's behind the scenes look at the making of Jim's album. It's called Understanding Upstate, the same name of this podcast. So if you like this podcast, you're going to love this little doc that we made. It was filmed partially in Binghamton. Sadly, we didn't make it to the asylum, but there's some cool Binghamton scenes in it. Go check it out. Link in the description for all of those things. Jim.
Yes.
We need a little hint for next week's episode.
Well, I hope that you have a nice tall glass of Kool-Aid ready to go.
Oh, okay. All right. There we go. Yikes.
So. Take that for what you will.
Sure. a cool, refreshing drink. That just leaves an up pun for us to get on out of here. Are you ready, Jim?
I think so.
Well, Jim, I just need to head up to the hill to go check out the house. Let's get on out of here.
Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.